Thank you. Well, I'm here today on behalf of Hazel, who many of you know is not able to be here because of medical reasons this evening. And what she's asked me to do is to read out, apologies, I've got to read out the speech that she would have made. So that's what I'll do. So Luton is a proud, determined town, more than capable of standing up to whatever situation or circumstances that it finds itself in. And as leader of the council, I've seen not just the council, but the people of this great town rise above countless difficult situations and come back stronger and better. Today's budget challenges come against the background of a decade or more of austerity, in which decreases in government funding has cut our own funding by over £100 million. Well, we could have resigned ourselves to this and left our fortunes to fate, but instead we took our destiny in our hands by launching the hugely successful Luton Investment Framework. That initial bold strategy soon began to pay off as huge investments started to stream into the town. Everywhere we looked, there were signs of regeneration, new jobs, higher wages, and a decrease in the number of people whose lives were blighted by poverty. And as we began a new year in 2020, the seeds of a brighter future for the town were well and truly sown. And then COVID struck. As a town, we have experienced so much misery and hardship. Like many places, we have suffered countless deaths and personal tragedies that continue to leave aching hearts in our families and in our communities. Workers have lost their jobs, and our school children have had their education disrupted. The economic impact has been particularly acute. We have, of course, experienced the nearly overwhelming effect of the pandemic upon our airport. And with air travel almost at a standstill, one of the most important income streams for our town, council, and for our valuable community organisations, dried up overnight. We were left with no choice but to set an emergency budget and make heart-wrenching cuts to services. These financial strains exposed inequalities and knocked residents back towards hand-to-mouth living. Life became tough. But we're tough too in Luton. Against the dark realities of the pandemic, we were able to see not only a light at the end of the tunnel, but the beginnings of a roadmap that will give us all hope for the future. And that vision was Luton 2040, no one in poverty. This was a goal around which we could all unite. Council staff, residents, businesses, schools, faith and community groups across the town soon realised that everyone has a role to play in this. Through dynamic engagement and consultation, we have been able to expand our shared mission of eradicating poverty to include specific objectives. The town's goal is to be a healthy, fair, child-friendly and carbon-neutral town, where everyone can thrive and no one has to live in poverty. 2040 is a long way off, and many people might believe it's too far away to make a difference to people's lives today. But in reaching our overall strategy, we've been careful to not only include milestones along that journey, but to rigorously and continuously assess whether we have met them. This approach has already given rise to notable achievements that are already making a difference to people's lives. If eradicating poverty is at the heart of Luton 2040, then the launch of Big Change Luton fundraising and education campaign with a partnership of over 20 other organisations has already begun to help those experience homelessness build a life away from the street. More than £1,700 was raised through donations. No one slept rough over Christmas. and residents learned how to alert the relevant teams where they observed concerning situations. Hundreds of people have signed up for our Passport to Employment programme, equipping them with the necessary skills for the world of work. We have worked with our voluntary sector partners to roll out vouchers to low-income households so no children went hungry during school holidays. We have achieved joint buy-in and agreement to a new, exciting town centre master plan that will involve mass regeneration, job creation, investment and a cleaner, greener area. To improve people's long-term health, we launched a smoke-free town centre partnership with local businesses to support people to help them give up smoking and stop visitors to the town being exposed to second-hand smoke. As a means of increasing community involvement and civic pride, we launched 10 Minutes of Community, which are encouraging citizens to dedicate just 10 minutes to help improve their neighbourhoods. This has given rise to some amazing community tidy-ups, which have left our streets better looking, fostered spirit within communities, and brought about much needed increase in morale. And I'll just put a little plug in here that we've got one on the 5th of March in Farley. Please come along, 10:30 in the morning. In order to further bring communities together, we began the Luton Fairness Task Force, which is aimed at helping us all better accept and understand challenges and develop solutions to tackle inequality. In addition to these, we have been successful in continuing to draw outside money into our town. And I'm now going to leave my colleague and our Deputy Leader, Aslam Khan, to continue the story.
Thank you, Sean. And as Sean has said, not only have we worked hard mobilizing passion and drive we have come to know and expect from Luton Zone, but we have turned our attention to attracting funds and grants from outside to help us achieve our goals. Our 2040 narrative has chimed well with the government's levelling up agenda and been the basis for multiple bids, which have resulted in us being able to secure a number of fundings. And these include a £20 million from government's levelling up fund to help us build our extensive plans for our town centre regeneration, a 7.7 million to decarbonise or reducing the energy demand on public buildings, a £600,000 from reopening high streets and welcome back fund to revitalise our streets and support our vital, fantastic local businesses, a £500,000 from National Leisure Recovery Fund to support the reopening of leisure centres with all positive knock-on effects towards health and well-being, a £360,000 for a new youth hub to support job seekers, a £300,000 to deliver English for speakers of other languages courses in the town, underlying our reputation as a town that welcomes and supports those from other countries who come to us, and often after great sacrifice and difficulty. In addition, we have launched a new public sector shared buy local, an approach to procurement which has helped us to double our spend on local goods, services, and keep Luton pound in Luton. And finally, and most importantly, we have established a new long-term partnership with the airport operators to pay the living wage, create more jobs for local people, and accelerate our net zero ambitions. All this has been accomplished in the past 12 to 15 months. All has been achieved against the backdrop of one of the most challenging experiences those of us living in Luton have ever experienced. Progress has been swift and far-reaching and made us realize that if we can achieve so much in such a short space of time when faced with such adversity, the future indeed is bright. But we know we have a lot more to do, and as a council, we are determined to bring the same level of dedication, energy, and enthusiasm that has already helped us to achieve so much. In the coming months, we plan to launch a good business charter, a new employment and skills strategy, both of which will help to build a more inclusive economy for all in Luton. Further develop and refine our plans to become carbon neutral and a child-friendly town. In March, we have exciting plans to unveil our river, the Poignant project, to commemorate those who lost to COVID-19 and to remember with gratitude the role of our key workers during the pandemic. The progression of Luton Dart, which will be a key driver in reducing car journeys to and from the airport, that will officially open this year. We will continue the next steps in the transformation of our town centre, which will open up of the River Lee and start our £20 million levelling up project, The Stage. We will also see the return of more large-scale public events across the town, following on from the success of vegan and Chinese festivals, as well as seeing once again community favorites such as the one-day carnival and the Mela. All that is for the future, but tonight we're here to propose a budget for today. And thanks to our decisive action in 2020, we are on a much more stable footing than we were 2 years ago. Tonight you will hear a budget that no longer concentrates our minds on difficult decisions and cuts and tightening of our belts, but allows us to begin to invest in those areas the people of Luton have told us that matter to them the most. Tonight's budget is one not shackled by the past, but the one which looks to the future, to a town that, as Sean said, already is healthy, fair, child-friendly, and carbon neutral. A place where everyone can thrive and no one lives in poverty.